Hi there, it's Mr. Clark. Welcome to lesson MED.3.2, where we continue with monophonic chant and look at its use in the Mass. So the Mass is a weekly service that is led by a priest for the general public. The divine office that we were looking at in the previous lesson was just for monks and nuns and people who had devoted their life to religion. The Mass is for everybody who is part of the church. And it is a weekly service that commemorates the death of Jesus Christ. Who Christians believe to be the Son of God. So the chants of the Mass are divided into two groups, the Mass proper and the Mass ordinary. The Mass proper consists of pieces where the text changes every week. So this would be like the antiphons that we were looking at. These parts are the introit, the gradual, the Alleluia, an optional sequence, sometimes optional. Later points in history it was banned. The offertory and communion. The Mass ordinary is pieces where the text is always the same from week to week. So this would be equivalent to the Psalms that we were looking at in the Divine Office. These are the Kyrie, Gloria, Credo, Sanctus, and Agnus Dei. There's also the Ite Missa Es, but it's we usually ignore because it's tiny and not super important. Composers in late medieval and onwards often set the Mass ordinary because it's the same every week, so you can use it more often than once a year. So these 5 parts are more relevant to remember. My music history TA and undergrad taught us the mnemonic device Kenny, G, caught, syphilis, and died. So if that is a useful mental image, then that can help you remember your order of the Mass ordinary. When we're talking about these chants for the Mass, we tend to characterize them by who sings, the melodic style, and the mode. We're not going to talk about mode here because that was covered in MED.2.1, but we do have 3 words for who sings, and more information about how that's notated is in the MED.1.4 when it's talking about modern neumes, but you have responsorial, where a soloist and the choir or congregation alternate back and forth. So soloist sings some stuff, group of people sing some stuff, soloist sings some stuff, group of people sing some stuff, back and forth. Antiphonal is when 2 groups of people alternate. So choir 1 sings something, choir 2 sings something, choir 1 sings something, choir 2 sings something, back and forth. And then direct, there's no alternation. A direct chant will still usually begin with a little bit by the soloist, but then it goes to the full choir or congregation. So, yeah, I guess it isn't super indicated, but with the repetition of the Kyrie, where this is performed 3 times, this section is performed 3 times, this is 2 times, and then the end, asterisks mark where soloist goes to choir, so that happens in pretty much every chant. So soloist goes to choir, and then soloist again goes to choir. So this would be an example of responsorial because you're alternating soloist and choir. Here, this is just everybody all the time, so that would be direct. And here, I guess it's not notated, but traditionally on the repeats you would alternate between choirs, so that would be an example of antiphonal. The other thing that we can characterize is melodic style. Syllabic would be about 1 note per syllable most of the time. So here we have Credo in unam Deum. Here we have 2 notes per syllable, Patrem omnipotentem. But for the most part, it's 1 note per syllable, so that's how we would characterize it. Pneumatic, referring to neumes, would be, about 2 to 6 notes per syllable, about a neume per syllable. So here we have Natus est nobis. So few notes per syllable, and then you have melismatic, which is lots of notes per syllable. As we can see here, there are, in fact, lots of notes. So you have Kyrie still on the A. Sol. So, lots of notes per syllable. It's a very technical term. So, 3 ways that we're going to characterize our mass parts and that we can characterize chants with more generally. Who sings, melodic style, and the mode. So, have fun characterizing some mass parts, and I'll see you next time.